Everyone, thanks for joining today. I wanted to introduce 5 items that I'm going to try to completely pan by the end of 2022. I just really wanted to start actually tracking my progress on using some items up in my makeup collection before I start purchasing and bringing new things in, just really getting use out of what I already have. So I wanted to kind of start myself off, even though we only have about 5 months left in the year. Just go ahead and give myself the goal of trying to use up these 5 items before the end of the year. So with that being said, we'll get started. And first things first, today I am wearing a combination of 2 eyeshadow palettes that are new to my collection. The first is the Natasha Denona Mini Nude Palette. So I mostly used the blending shade and then this shade right here called Soil all over my lid. And then the other palette I used with that is the Sigma Enchanted mini palette that came in the Kelly Gooch favorite set. So I used the blending shade mostly. I put the shade kind of in the outer corner, and then I topped that Soil shade with this because I wanted it to come off a little bit more pink. So that is what I'm wearing on my eyes today. On my lips, I'm wearing a combination of this Buxom lip pencil in Hush Hush. It's just a nice basic nude pink. Just a little mini sample that I got from Sephora, I believe. And then I've topped it with the Bite lip gloss in Sugar Drizzle. And I threw that on the floor. But so that's what I'm wearing today. And so now I'm going to tell you about the 5 items that I'm going to try and use up by the end of the year. So I'll kind of go in order of maybe how I would do my makeup. So starting with the base of foundation. I'm going to be panning the Fenty Beauty makeup stick in the color Bamboo. I've had this for a while. I don't think it's my oldest foundation, but I've had it for at least maybe 2 years at this point. But there's really not that much left, just that much. So I think if I really focus on it pretty much every day that I wear makeup for the rest of the year, I should be able to use it up. It's a pretty good color match for me. It might get a tad too dark once we really get into winter, but I can always mix it with another foundation to make it work. So that is the first item that I'm going to be working on. The next item is well loved, and I have been low-key panning it for most of the year, but it is the Essence Sun Club Matte Bronzing Powder, and my packaging is just so sad. The lid completely comes off, but I have quite a dent going in this already. There's a lot of pan. I actually have already repressed this once, and once I kind of get the center a little more worn down, I'll repress it again probably to just try and make it easier to get it all on my brush. But again, I think if I really just focus on this being the blush that I use every day that I wear makeup, I could very easily use this up by the end of the year. Oh, and this is in the shade 01 Natural. This also, I believe, is my oldest the oldest bronzer in my collection, so I'd really like to finish it up and start working on a newer one. Next in my face order, I have some more powders. This is the original Hourglass Ambient Lighting Kit, and this is so old, like the name is completely rubbed off, and the names of the powders on the back is completely rubbed off. But I do have a pretty big dent going in 2 of the powders. So I think the names were Dim Light, Incandescent Light, and Radiant Light. Or maybe this is Radiant Light and this is Dim Light. But I have a major pan in both of these colors. So this is more the all over face powder. So I could use it that way or just setting more on my under eye or my nose. So I think I have so much pan going already that I could use this up by the end of the year. Same with the kind of bronzing powder. Again, I have a lot of pan in there. It's really just this little section up here that's got some product left. So if I just kind of use that as a bronzer topper maybe most days, then I could probably finish that up by the end of the year as well. So that is the 3rd item that I'm going to be working on. Even though it's 2 powders, I'm just going to count it as 1 item. Next, I have a blush. This is the e.l.f. Jelly Pop blush in the color Peach Pop. This isn't super old in my collection, but it being a like liquidy jelly consistency, I'd like to use it up sooner rather than later, before it goes really bad and expires. It probably technically, I don't know, I actually don't think there is a date on here anywhere, but just to be on the safe side, I'm going to try and use it up by the end of the year. And if I kind of let it settle a little bit, you can see I've made a little bit of a dent in it already. There's still most of the jar left, at least a little over half. So I think if I kind of focus on using this pretty much every time I wear blush as well, I could use that up by the end of the year. It's pretty subtle. I'm wearing it today. I feel like it does blend in pretty nicely with the rest of my makeup. It just kind of takes a little bit of effort, so it's really not my favorite formula. But since I do own it and I spent money on it, granted it was probably only like $6, I'd still like to just try and use it up. So the last item I'm going to be working on is a lip liner. This is also from e.l.f. in the shade Dusty Rose. I don't even know if they sell this anymore, but this is my oldest lip liner in my collection, and there really, again, is not that much of it left. So I think, again, most days if I wear any sort of lip color, which honestly is maybe only like 1 or 2 times a week, so maybe I'll start trying to up that a little bit more. But if I do, I typically use something like a liner to kind of lightly line, fill it in lightly, and then put a gloss on top. So if I just use this every time I decide I want a lip color, I think I could definitely use this up by the end of 2022. So those are the 5 items that I'm going to be panning for the rest of the year. I'm going to be doing a monthly update at the beginning of every month, and then I'll do a full update of all the items at the end of December, and hopefully be introducing my 2023 project pan with more than 5 items. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned for my next video.